It is the post-match pint after Liverpool have gone to Inter Milan to the San Siro and won by 2-0. I've got Steve Graves, I've got Rob Gutmann. Virgil van Dijk's just been on the telly saying that you had to be ready to suffer. Rob Gutmann, were you ready to suffer?
No.
You didn't have any suffering in you whatsoever?
I'm never ready to suffer. But as you get into these things, you're sort of reminded as the game progresses, aren't you, that this is the stage it is at. And that's what Virgil was saying, really, is this isn't Burnley. This isn't Kansas. Do you know whatever the expression is? This is a game where, this is a stage where it's not easy. And I don't know, I think we're used to the fact that Liverpool either prevail or they don't. Sometimes Liverpool just have to do what Liverpool have to do. I grew up with the Liverpool side that going away in Europe and getting a 0-0 was an awesomely impressive thing. And the great thing was we mainly didn't have to watch it. You know, when you have to watch it, it's really scary and quite horrible and not very impressive, really. But as a body of work, that was really impressive, despite the fact I'm struggling to think of where it was, apart from the bits where we scored.
It's, Steve, it was let's be, I think, relatively clear about this. Inter Milan play really well, and they don't just play really well, but they grow into the game. There's bits where I'm just thinking to myself as we get closer and closer to half time, it's going to come for the Reds here. And then they come out second half, and I think that they do ever so well up until when our manager makes his changes. They're a credit to themselves, they're a credit to the competition. It's a reminder that you don't just get to swat into these grounds and act like you own the place.
No, absolutely. It's a reminder of all of that, and it's a reminder of how good Liverpool are, that Liverpool just work it out and get there. But yeah, you know, Inter showed that there's that level of teams maybe just below the teams that will be the favourites for this competition, who are really, really difficult to play. Yeah. And they're top, you know, they're absolutely among the best 5 or 6 teams in Europe, just on form and just in general at the minute. And you know, there's loads and loads of experience in there. Real mix of youth as well, and you know, you can see everything that they were about, and I think that's the best thing. You know, Liverpool at times you've come up against sides that Liverpool have just rolled over in Europe. Yeah. Today you saw a team...
AC Milan as an example, if we're all honest.
You saw a team just give the best account of themselves and still come up short against Liverpool. That's hugely encouraging for Liverpool and for their manager and for everything that Liverpool were about today. They were a serious football team, as they have been for the last 3 or 4 weeks, particularly, a really, really serious football team.
The seriousness of Liverpool, Rob, the way in which they embrace the idea that they're going to have to suffer, they embrace the idea this is a remarkably difficult game. I think that becomes a credit to them. It's not just trying to put a bit of a shine on something here. It's that you've seen Liverpool sides that have won trophies. You know, we were talking before the game about Houllier and Benitez sides, for instance, and we watched them play some at best turgid and at times agonising European away games. This was never entirely either of those two things, I don't think, bar maybe 15 minutes after half-time. But the point is, that's how European football goes sometimes. Sometimes their crowd gets up, their players play the best they can, and you've just got to see where you are once it's all finished if everyone does the jobs properly.
Well, look, tonight, Bayern Munich have got a last-minute equaliser against Salzburg, right, who aren't European elite. That tells you something, doesn't it? Tells you how tough this stage of the competition is. Liverpool are now joint second favourites for the competition. I think it's 7-2, with City at 23-10. It's tough. It really is tough to do this. The fact that a team like Inter Milan come at us, look like they're sort of dominant for a phase, is not a shock. That's what they should be doing. You know, they should be doing, even if they're we're a tier 1 team. They're a tier 2, 2.5 team.
I'd say tier 2.
Yeah, they're a tier 2 team. We weren't thrilled with that draw. We didn't get a tier 1 team. We didn't get a PSG or a Real Madrid. So we're happy enough with that. But this is our reality. I mean, I have to say, for people getting things right, I love a shout that's correct. You know, especially when it's mine. At half time, where we were sitting uncomfortably in our seats, you went, I think we'll win this 2-0. I don't think you saw the first 12 to 15 minutes after half time, but you were right. And the way it comes, the fact that we scored from a set piece, I think we're always going to, quite frankly, because that's what Liverpool do.
Hello Reds, thanks for watching that taster of the post-match pint. If you want to watch the rest of that video, really easy to watch it right here on YouTube. Just click the join button below. That activates the membership. It gives you access to the Anfield Wrap's premium videos, which includes the post-match pint, but also reviews, previews, exclusive interviews, and it means you can follow us, follow them from here, the heart of Liverpool.